First fact you need to know, and this is from our previous videos, Maurice Strong, Canadian Maurice Strong, supreme globalist front person, now deceased. He was pushing all this UN agenda all the way back to 1947. He brought UN Agenda 21, which Mulroney, globalist conservative Mulroney, adopted. He ended up bringing UN Agenda 2030, which globalist conservative Harper adopted, and which is being implemented across the country. In this graph here, in 1998, Maurice Strong hired a computer modeler, Michael Mann, to fabricate the existential threat, which would cause the Western public to adopt this bogus climate change agenda, and also UN Agenda 2030 and the complete control over our society. And you can see it here. This is a 1,000-year graph, and they just flatten out this period here, and then they made the existential threat right there. This is completely fabricated here. As most people know, the temperatures vary. They go up and down, but they flatten out to make this threat. And this graph here shows it a bit clearer. This is Michael Mann's graph for the IPCC, 1988, 2002. Look at all flatten out, and then it goes up. And this is what Al Gore used. This is Dr. Tim Ball, Canadian, out of University of Winnipeg, retired climatologist. Here's the Middle Age warm period, which was flattened out in the UN version, right there. And then there's a little ice age in the 1600s, 1700. That was flattened out as well. This is pure fabrication. I'm going to shift to another key fact. Dr. Ball has done important work. He was able to show that human-caused carbon dioxide is a minuscule portion of the atmosphere. If you look up any of his videos, he'll show that it's actually 3.4% of 4% of 2% of the total atmosphere. It is a minuscule portion of the total atmosphere, and yet these UN climate change advocates are saying it's causing all this warming. This is completely bogus. And if you do the calculation of 3.4% of 4% of 2%, that equates to 0.00272% of the total atmosphere is human-caused CO2. This is an absolute joke, this climate change. And here's an image of that. This is the total atmosphere. This little speck here, this little black speck here, is the 0.00272%. Isn't that unbelievable? This is human-caused CO2, a little speck in the atmosphere. The third point you need to know is that Canada has the biggest carbon sink in the world. The incredible Boreal Forest. It's 80% intact. It covers 1.5 billion acres of land. This is a massive, massive carbon sink. The Boreal Forest consumes more carbon per acre, double that of temperate forests and tropical forests. And here's that image again. And it stores a minimum 208 billion tons of carbon, our beautiful Boreal Forest. This is equivalent to more than 1,000 years worth of Canada's greenhouse gas emissions in CO2 equivalent at 2014 levels. So the important point here, even if you believe into this climate change nonsense, Canada is carbon negative to the max, and therefore a carbon tax does not make sense. What makes sense? We should be charging the world for the amount of carbon we are consuming. We shouldn't be taxing our people for carbon emissions. Canada's carbon emissions are negative, and we should do everything we can to protect our boreal forest, and that's why one of the reasons NCA is strongly 100% opposed to sustained mass immigration and overpopulation of Canada.